Thanks for joining us on Backwoods Pursuit. Today, we're going to talk about compound bow release types. We're going to show you the different styles and types that are on the market, or at least some of them. The main categories here being your handheld style, like this Carter Wise Choice, or your wrist strap style, like this Scott Little Bitty Goose. There's a lot in between these two and a lot of other types and styles, but we're going to try to hit on the main ones to help you decide what's going to work best for you. We're going to put a link down in the description there to all these products that we're talking about, so you can check them out whenever you get a minute. And also sure appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, the bell notification. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, as well as on our website, backwoodspursuit.com. Love the support, love to see you following us. Let's go get started. Alright, so the first style you're probably familiar with is a wrist strap style. This one is the Scott Little Bitty Goose. It's quite a few years old, I believe 10, 12 years old at least. It's been well used. It served me well for a lot of years. One of the unique things about this one that is different than other styles is you've got this rope, more or less, that is the adjustable portion. There's not a steel shaft or something like that that's gonna be more similar to this style here, where you've got that steel shaft there at the end of the clip in the caliper. So this style is what we call a single caliper. You can see when we move that, you got only this portion right here is what's moving, and that's what's opening up when you pull the trigger, as you can see right there. So this is a single caliper wrist style release. And another feature that a lot of them have different styles on is this type of buckle. Some are like this, where they are a true, just like a belt buckle, like that. And then some are also something where you can put a piece of Velcro on there. Some are where you can put a Velcro on, then twist a knob to tighten it down on your wrist to get the right tension for you. Any one of them work, just whatever works best for you, whatever is most comfortable for you. But that's one style. That's a single caliper wrist strap style. Another style is another wrist strap, and this one's probably the most popular, at least that I've seen out there, where you've got that solid steel shaft there attached to the wrist portion here, and then leading out to the caliper end and the trigger. These are quite popular. I don't even know what brand this is. Doesn't have a name on it, but this has been my backup for a lot of years, just in case I lose my primary release. Been using that Little Bitty Goose for quite a while. But this is a solid shaft style. Some people like these more, some don't, of course, kind of your personal preference. But the main difference between this and the Little Bitty Goose is that this is a double caliper. You can probably see there when you open and close that, both of those, the calipers, or the teeth on the end of that, open and close. That's the main difference. Again, I prefer the single caliper if I'm going to go with a wrist strap. Some people like the double caliper though. This again is another belt buckle style. I've found that I like that best of the wrist strap styles. It's just my personal preference. I don't like Velcro on my release, but that's just me. So it's another great option for you. Getting into the handheld style, this like this guy here, this is the Carter Wise Choice. This is a thumb release, and as you can see, it's a 4-finger. So you got one hole here for your index finger, and then 3 more here. So it's going to fit on your hand like that. Now the way that this releases, because you have similar to the wrist strap style, you click it on your D-loop right there, and then utilize this button right here to lock it on, right, like that, to your string. And then this knob is what activates the release mechanism. So you squeeze that and it releases. So it's kind of a hybrid between a wrist release and a true back tension release. One thing I do like about these, and that is a good option for you if you want to have the best of both worlds, is you go ahead and use this. You'll get yourself locked onto your string, wrap your thumb around that knob, and then you can create that tension there, and then bend your wrist like that. And if you're locked onto that thumb release there and bend your wrist, that's going to activate that trigger. So it's going to be similar to a back tension. So that's one of the options. Of course, you have tension options with how sensitive that trigger is, that you can make adjustments with these screws on the end. All of them have that, of course, except for the back tension release, but that's an option there. And you can also, with most of these thumb style, there's a little Allen head right on the end of that. You can move this thumb portion there, that cylinder, to kind of get it to adjust best to what works for you. So that's the Carter Wise Choice, that four finger style. Another open finger style that's similar to the Carter is the Spot Hog Whippersnapper. Similar kind of a setup where you've got the thumb activated release here, except this one doesn't have anything that clicks on a button here. This just moves like that and like that. So that's what's going to lock you onto your string. But of course it's open finger design, so you don't have that loop for your index finger. Just again, a preference style. This one's a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter than the Carter. So depending on your hands, depending on how you like to utilize that release, that could be a good option for you. If you have smaller hands, this might be something that works better for you. But again, it's going to have to fit your hand however you like it. Not a lot different than the Carter Wise Choice, other than you want to look at the neck length here, that whatever's going to fit where you're anchoring is going to be dependent on from one to the next. So you want to try a few, see what works best for you that way. So that is the Spot Hog Whippersnapper. That's again another thumb style release, not a true back tension. The same thing applies though. You can lock on here and just twist your wrist like that and use that, or get it closer to a true back tension release than actually having to use a back tension release. So with that in mind, here is a true back tension release. This one's from, I believe, Conquest Archery. Right here is the thumb portion, and that more serves as an anchor point for you than anything else. It doesn't activate the trigger in any way like the thumb release styles. And this is also, as you can see, it's a 3-finger. So you only have the main index finger there, and then that third pinky is going to be hanging off. And so this is going to be activated here by latching onto the string there. And then you want this, if I can show that, so you want this to be pointed down in this way, like that, so that's going to lock onto the string. And then when this moves like that, then it releases that's what activates. So the act of moving your wrist is what activates that on a back tension release. So I can demonstrate that without a bow here. You'll hear that little click there. So you're moving like that, you move your wrist and it opens up. So there's no trigger on these. There's nothing that activates the trigger other than you're moving your hand here and you're moving your elbow or your wrist back, and then that's activating the trigger. So it can be a little bit tricky in a hunting situation because it does offer you that true surprise release, which is what you want. But if you're trying to get that shot off and the animal's in a tight window, it can be problematic that way. So I think for that reason, a lot of guys don't use the back tension when they're hunting. They aren't certainly as popular. They can be done, but that's for someone that's more skilled with these than I am. So that's a true back tension release, and that covers most of the styles of the releases. There are others and hybrids between some of those out there, but those are the primary styles. Again, I'll put a link to those down in the description. Appreciate you subscribing, following along. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time.